story 4, The Hand of Fear, is a freak accident traps the Doctor's companion Sarah Jane under tons of rock. After a miraculous survival, she is found frantically clinging to a large stone hand, and the Doctor senses a sinister power at work. I have to admit, that's probably the shortest synopsis I've read for Doctor Who yet. The Hand of Fear is actually a very good story. It is well acted, pretty good written, pretty well written. Excellent design of the creatures, the Castronians, I think they're called. This character right here, Eldrad, the female form, is very well. It's beautiful. It's exotic. Very well designed. It's a pretty well thought out story. It's a very simple story too, because there's only like one storyline through the entire series, through this entire story, and that's because it's just about that hand, about the Eldrad, and that's about it. Sarah Jane also takes more control of this story than any of the other ones. Mostly to the time it's the Doctor, but this time it is the companion, because the companion is the one that comes in contact with the hand, and she gets possessed, and she carries the story along for a while until she becomes unpossessed, but she still carries the story along because she is deeply involved this time. The overall story arc and everything is pretty well written. I liked its conclusion. I liked how it went out. It's very well. It's pretty much like a short story that's adapted into a larger form. It's like it adapted into a like a little mini series or something. That's kind of like what this was. It's just a simple short story that's just spread out a little bit longer, and it was, like I said, well written. The acting from everybody was great. Of course, Elizabeth Sladen, Sarah Jane, and Tom Baker, the Doctor, aces all around. But the other characters were pretty well performed as well. Particularly the one, the superintendent of the nuclear power plant, which is like the main setting of the story. He was very well performed. He is at first, seen as very authoritarian. He really takes control of everything, of how the plant is run, how the operation is going, this and that. But at the same time, later you got to see his vulnerability as well, because at one point, because he does care about his entire crew. Everybody that works on him, he cares about them, but also he cares about family and all that, because there's one part where it's like on the brink. You don't know if a nuclear explosion is going to go off because the power plant's melting down, because this hand is absorbing the radiation to regenerate. And we don't know if the power plant's going to have a meltdown or not. So as the alarms are going off and this and that, he's in the control room, and he's calling his wife and kids, and he's just, he's just telling, oh, I'm just going to be, very sweetly just saying, oh, I'm just going to be, I'm working a little bit later at the office, nothing big's happening, and he tells his, the wife, and kiss the children for me, and this and that. It just made you really sympathetic towards him. I was like, wow. Not only was that well written, but it's just his performance, and you go, wow, you really care for this guy. It was sad.